It's about 5:45 now. Pope Francis continues his historic visit to the U.S. today.
That's right. Let's take a look at what the pontiff has done so far. Tuesday, the pontiff actually greeted President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama just outside of the White House.
Well, the Pope arrived to a large crowd that was gathered to meet him in D.C. As you can see here, he greeted the crowd in his Pope-mobile.
And last night, for the first time, Pope Francis celebrated Mass in this country. He also officially declared Junipero Serra, an 18th century missionary, a saint. And the Pope has a busy schedule for today as well.
That's right. We're going to take it to our Washington, D.C. correspondent Peter Zampa for more on Pope Francis. Good morning, Peter. What events does the Pope have planned for today?
Well, once again, he's got a busy day on slate, Art. Today, this morning, we're here obviously quite early, but about 10 a.m. he's going to speak in an historic address in front of a joint session of Congress. It's a long-awaited address because there are some controversial topics that he's slated to speak on, or people think he might. So there are even some lawmakers boycotting this address. So he'll do that, and then he'll go greet the people as he does on the front lawn here on Capitol Hill, speak to the many thousands that are expected outside. And then he's actually going to head to, instead of grabbing lunch with lawmakers, he's going to head to a homeless shelter to bless the food for a lot of homeless folks out here. And then later this afternoon, he's slated to head up to New York City. So he's got another jam-packed day out ahead of him.
Yeah, busy day for sure there. And a mass number of people we've seen, Peter, come out to see the Pope. How has security been so far around him during this trip?
As you can imagine, it's been severely bolstered. Yesterday alone at the Basilica, that's where my colleague and I were yesterday, it was tough to get through anywhere. There were Secret Service agents from all across the country. We spoke with one from LA, asked him for directions. He didn't know the area at all, but he's still here, as are many of these people from around the country. The detail is just incredible in size, but they're doing a fantastic job so far. As far as I'm concerned, there have been zero issues, and it's completely necessary. They say this is an inauguration size event. I would imagine it's even bigger than that, having the Pope here for the first time in his life and the first time since 2008.
One thing you mentioned to us was some of the lawmakers actually wanted to boycott the Pope's visit. And what were some of their reasons for that?
Well, he's big on immigration and climate change. His immigration stance comes from him being an immigrant himself. So naturally, he thinks that he wants to spread goodwill on everyone and allow everyone, include everyone. And as far as climate change goes, he simply wants to preserve God's green earth, in his words. So as you can see on Congress, not everyone agrees with both of those policies. So it's expected to be a bit controversial. I don't think anyone thinks he'll try to impose his will on Congress, because that wouldn't be very Pope-like, but he's expected to send some ideas their way and see if they resonate.
Definitely, Peter. And you mentioned, too, that he's going to go and bless the food there for the homeless. It seems to be really on par for this Pope. Can you tell us a little bit more about how he's interacting with the people?
It's incredible. You speak to everyone why they want to see this Pope, Pope Francis. They call him the People's Pope, and it really is true. The way he interacts with these folks, they say he pays his bills. They say he goes to see the poor. They say he'll look you in the eye when he shakes your hand, if you're so lucky to do so. But they really say he cares about everyone. He doesn't care about the elite. He cares about every single person, and that's why actually Monday morning I covered a strike here on Capitol Hill. A bunch of workers fighting for a higher wage. They think this is the Pope that can get them what they need, the equal rights they're really fighting for, and you can tell with the way he carries himself throughout the crowds here. It's just fantastic.
All right, well, thank you so much, Peter, for covering this story for us today. A lot ahead today, including that congressional address, so thanks for joining us.
Thanks indeed.